with a possible WrestleMania match for next year and more. This is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we move on, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Rambles with notifications on, and don't forget to like the video. With AEW Collision on Saturday airing after night 1 of WrestleMania, the ratings have come out as Ringside News wrote that, according to WrestleNomics, the April 6th edition of AEW Collision brought in an overnight average viewership of 463,000 viewers, with a rating of 0.15 in the 18 to 49 demographic. This is an increase compared to the previous show, which brought in 458,000 viewers with 0.11 in the 18 to 49 demographic. Taking a shot at a publication for using a picture of her in an article and calling her an influencer, Alexa Bliss wrote on X, "Hey Buzzfeed, ask people before you record them, maybe ask before using my pic. If you're gonna steal it, use it for something somewhat accurate. I am a professional athlete and sports entertainer, not an influencer. Hashtag the irony." Touching on the appearance of Jason Kelce at WrestleMania 40, with him helping out the LWO during the tag team match, Ringside News wrote, according to a report by TMZ Sports, WWE is more than open to bringing back Jason Kelce to the company following his incredible appearance at WrestleMania 40 Saturday. The backstage reaction to Jason Kelce's appearance at WrestleMania 40 Saturday was also revealed. It was added that, according to Fightful Select, Kelce and members of his team embarked on a journey to WrestleMania XL, seeking training and documenting their experience. They reached out to Danny Cage and the Monster Factory for guidance. As Jade Cargill made a surprise appearance on Raw to have a squash match against Chelsea Green, Cargill responded to fans being shocked at this, writing on X, "Wait, so you guys thought that was going to be a long match? I told you all I'm coming for the women's division. One head at a time. I get paid per match, so let's make it quick. 2-0. Revealing an interesting fact regarding Roman Reigns and his loss of the title at WrestleMania 40, Pro Wrestling Finesse wrote on X, Roman Reigns' undisputed WWE title run ended on the 7th of April, the same date as the birthday of his late brother Rosie. When it comes to what brand Cody Rhodes will end up on as the draft approaches, Steve Carrier noted this on X. With Cody Rhodes securing the WWE Undisputed Championship and the looming WWE Draft, speculation has arisen regarding his brand placement in the future. When queried about this, Ringside News was informed that discussions are still ongoing to determine his brand allegiance. Cody's obligations to brands being discussed. In the meantime, Cody is scheduled to be working both Raw and Smackdown leading into the WWE Draft. Mentioning what his mother said to him following his loss at WrestleMania 39, Cody Rhodes said this at the Mania 40 press conference. "One thing about my mom is my mom does not want to be on TV. She doesn't want to be Mama Rhodes. She's usually asleep during the show. She doesn't know this, but I'll never forget. I was really worried when I didn't win at WrestleMania 39, the journey that I fought. How can I get back to WrestleMania 40 and do it all again? I remember saying to her, I just want to be quarterback. She didn't mean it in any negative way, but how she slid right in as I said that and said, just one time. When she said that, I realized that I was out of time. It was now or never. WrestleMania 39, it felt this was it. This was the moment, this is the most obvious thing ever. No. When they asked me what the challenge was, what the task was, I just heard The Miz, who I've known my whole career, tell me that was an incredible amount of pressure. I'm not going to pat myself on the back here, but I feel the gauntlet was laid down and I was able to get through to the other side. Ultimately, the biggest challenge in front of me was the biggest movie star in the world, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Mr. Heyman, now a Hall of Famer, and of course, the Tribal Chief, a man on the Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling, sports entertainment, Roman Reigns. I'm lost in all of this. If that makes any sense, I am. If I learned anything from my dad, if it's a good night, you don't want it to end. Recalling her experiences as a part of WWE, Ronda Rousey wrote this in her book, Our Fight. In MMA, I originally just started them for publicity, but those other bitches did not get the memo, and so they became personal, and in WWE, it's all fake. I love them, except for Bruce Pritchard and John Laurinaitis. They can go F themselves. I mean, supposedly, Vince McMahon's out now because they paying company funds, so he could on some girl's head in the office and do a threesome with her and Johnny Laurinaitis. But his cronies are still there, so when that stuff started coming out and Vince was gone before, he was still basically calling it in and running the company. But Bruce Pritchard, who's there now, who's like the head of creative or whatever title they gave him, is basically just taking orders from Vince and still running the company through him. So when Vince resigned formally because of all these sexual allegations and stuff that was coming out, he was still running the company informally, and I think he still is to this day. Steph and Triple H, I think they're honestly doing their best, but I think that Vince McMahon just created a fundamentally sick environment, and I think if Ari Emanuel is gonna be able to actually make this multi-billion-dollar dysfunctional organization into one that functions, he's got to clean out all of Vince's cronies. He's got to completely clean house and remove Vince's influence completely. No one's asking me, but that's just what I experienced when Vince was gone. He was still running the show through people that he'd hired in the past, Bruce Pritchard being number one of them. Bruce Pritchard, literally, I never heard him say a single one of his own opinions. He'd only say, Vince says this, Vince says that, Vince, Vince, Vince. So he's literally just, I called him Vince's avatar. That's basically what he is. AEW has advertised that footage from the backstage brawl at All In Wembley between CM Punk and Jack Perry will be aired on Dynamite this week. President of the company, Tony Khan, talked to SI.com about this, as it was said that, speaking with Sports Illustrated, AEW owner Tony Khan confirmed this is not a bait and switch. The Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, who star in the AEW tag division and work for the company as EVPs, are going to show the backstage footage on Dynamite and discuss it on the air for the very first time. AEW has a great track record on delivering what we advertise, and it is real footage, said Khan, who remained guarded over the specific content that will air from All In. The Young Bucks will show backstage footage from All In, the most important event in AEW history, the world record holder for the most tickets ever sold for any wrestling show, 81,035 total, and it was an important night backstage as well. Though the incident unfolded 8 months ago, it is suddenly relevant again after Punk shared his side of the story last week on Ariel Helwani's MMA Hour. Despite speculation that Khan would air the footage as the result of a grudge against Punk, he noted that his motivation is storyline driven. The decision is based on putting on the best show for AEW, as well as driving interest for Dynamite and our Dynasty pay-per-view on April 21st, said Khan. This is real-life footage that affected many people, and it will air for the first time on TBS during Dynamite. After losing his title to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40, Roman Reigns wrote on X, "Yesterday I mourned, today is day one," and posted this video. For a WWE status update on Stephanie McMahon, who appeared at WrestleMania during the weekend, Ringside News wrote, according to reports from PW Insider, McMahon's appearance does not signify an official return to the company in any capacity. Instead, it was a gesture of support for the company's new era under her husband's leadership. It was viewed as McMahon putting her personal stamp of approval on WWE's direction rather than the beginning of a return for storylines or behind-the-scenes duties. The report emphasized that McMahon is always welcome to return in the future, but her appearance at WrestleMania XL was not indicative of any imminent comeback. It's also worth noting that WWE made efforts to conceal Stephanie McMahon's comeback from the company's insiders. Internally, Stephanie McMahon's address was treated as highly confidential, even labeled as a Triple H presentation on the schedules. Despite the clandestine nature of her presence, she was warmly welcomed backstage, highlighting her consistent positive reputation within the company. It appears a huge showdown could already be in the works for next year in WWE, as Ringside News said. After it is clear that The Rock is not done with Cody Rhodes, a match between both men is destined to happen soon. A new update from Dave Meltzer via Wrestling Observer Radio has revealed a potential date for a match between them. As per the update, The Rock versus Cody Rhodes is not going to happen anytime before WrestleMania 41. Sharing his thoughts on Cody Rhodes emerging victorious over Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40, Stephen A. Smith said this on his show. "I'm a fan of Cody Rhodes. I'm glad he finally won this title. It's escaped him for quite some time. I actually interviewed him during my day job on Thursday morning before this event. I got a lot of love for this guy. I like him a lot. He's the son of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Remember that? In WA days and all of that. Cody Rhodes is big time. He finally got the love. When he fought on Sunday in the main event for the heavyweight crown, I like him a lot. I'm glad he finally got his just due. He was waiting for this. He wanted this bad. Ultimately got it done, and to me, it ain't just about your wrestling ability. You got to be an elite smack talker, okay?" As Giulia is seemingly set to debut on NXT after being in attendance for Stand and Deliver, Ringside News wrote that according to insights from Fightful Select's Corey Brennan, Giulia has officially agreed to join WWE and will fulfill her remaining dates, including some time in Rossy Ogawa's upcoming promotion. The decision reportedly came after WWE offered a more lucrative deal compared to AEW, with WWE showing greater interest in signing Giulia. Notably, Giulia opted not to enlist an agent during her free agency period. Sources also indicate that William Regal played a pivotal role in negotiations between WWE and Giulia, with Rossy Ogawa's involvement also being significant in securing her signature. Regarding Giulia's potential debut with NXT, it's believed she could begin at any moment, especially considering her current presence in the US. Rossy Ogawa's return to Japan alone on Tuesday hints at Giulia's readiness to start her WWE journey. As for her surprise appearance at NXT Stand and Deliver, sources reveal that Giulia was swiftly escorted to her ringside seat under a cloak and was reportedly taken aback by the overwhelmingly positive reaction from the crowd. Additionally, Giulia was spotted at WrestleMania 40 both backstage and in the crowd. Notably, she was seen wearing credentials labeled performer, hinting at her involvement in WWE's future endeavors. Asked for his thoughts on his match on Raw against Shinsuke Nakamura, where he was victorious, NXT champion Ilya Dragunov said this on Raw Talk. Well, for now, all I can say is that I'm beaten up. I'm very, very sore. But if there's one thing that people know about me, it's that I'm always looking out for the next fight. I'm always prepared. That's why they call me the Mad Dragon. That's why they call me the Tsar. Umbe Singbar is what people think when they hear the name Ilya Dragunov. So what I'm looking out for next after this absolutely outstanding weekend is just the next challenge to show the people that my heart is burning. And all I know is, yeah, probably pure intensity. Going over the long-term plans for WWE following WrestleMania 40, Triple H said this to Megan Morant: "I want to reinvent all this, not reinvent it. Because there's nothing wrong with it. It's not broken, it's not damaged. It's the greatest form of entertainment in the world, right? But how do we all together take what we love so much and turn it into something even more? Going into WrestleMania next year, I think it's going to feel like a whole new place. And that's less than a year from now. So 5 years from now, I expect it to be the same heart and soul, but just with a whole new bunch of that's just blowing everybody's mind." Explaining why he does not wear a mask in WWE, Dominik Mysterio told the Ringer Wrestling Show, "You know, I feel like I deserve the mask from the beginning. It's the tradition. I should have wrestled Seth in a mask at SummerSlam, but at the end of the day, I'm too good looking. I got to show off the luscious mullet. I don't think I'll ever actually wear the mask full time, unless I lost a bet or my life depended on it to survive or it gave me magic powers or something. I would never actually cover this. I got a hell of a smile. I'm gonna take the Mysterio name to another level and I'm not gonna need a mask." After the main event of WrestleMania 40, John Cena can be seen welcoming back Stephanie McMahon. Mentioning if WWE reached out to have Jon Moxley return for the main event of Night 2 for WrestleMania 40, given Seth Rollins came out to the Shield theme, it was said that, speaking to comicbook.com, AEW President Tony Khan confirmed that WWE did not reach out to AEW about using Jon Moxley for a one-off appearance during the Cody Rhodes vs. Roman Reigns main event. When it comes to a return to action for Sheamus in WWE, as he's been dealing with a shoulder injury since September, Ringside News wrote that a new report from Fightful Select has revealed details about his potential return. As per the update, Sheamus' video package being featured isn't a hint that he will return to WWE next week. Rather, his return might be held until the conclusion of the WWE draft. We're told that it's possible that Sheamus may not return until the week of the draft or won't have a defined brand until then. Sheamus' faction, the Brawling Brutes, was disbanded a few weeks following the former WWE Champion's injury. With his return plans now in place, a singles run for Sheamus won't be a big surprise. As it's been rumored that member of the Anoa'i family and former MLW champion Jacob Fatu has been telling those that he is now with WWE. Dave Meltzer provided an update on this, saying on Wrestling Observer Radio, well, he signed with WWE and he's going to be starting soon and getting a push from what we understand. Following his win at WrestleMania, World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest will be sticking with WWE, as Ringside News wrote. Damian Priest has solidified his commitment to WWE as he recently signed a new contract with the company, ensuring his presence in the squared circle for the foreseeable future. Reflecting on his recent success, Priest expressed his excitement in an interview with WWE Digital following Monday's Raw, where he confirmed the news of his contract extension. While the specific terms of the deal were not disclosed, Priest emphasized that this year has already been a standout for him, marked by a new contract, championship title, and even a new theme song featuring his own vocals. Talking about WWE's reaction to AEW seemingly being set to show off the footage of CM Punk and Jack Perry's altercation backstage during the All-In event in Wembley, Ringside News wrote, "The footage in question is expected to shed light on the altercation between Punk and Perry, which led to Punk's subsequent dismissal from AEW. This revelation comes nearly 8 months after the incident took place during All-In London. Ringside News sought insights from individuals in WWE regarding the reaction to AEW's decision to air the All-In footage, potentially featuring CM Punk. It was relayed to us that WWE views this move by AEW as misguided and foolish. The timing of this announcement coincides with CM Punk's recent appearance on Ariel Helwani's MMA Hour, where he addressed various topics, including the Brawl-In incident. With tensions already running high, the release of the footage is poised to stir further controversy and speculation among fans and industry insiders alike." And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.